In this demo, we're going to take a look at the MaxQ LaserChecks products for Dynamics SL. These products were built with the same tool set that was used to build Dynamics SL and are totally integrated into the Dynamics SL product. If you know how to print checks already in Dynamics SL, there's very little difference just choosing a different check format to print the laser checks. So first we're going to take a look at, in the shared information screen, the bank account information maintenance form. And here we can have an unlimited number of bank accounts to be used with Dynamics SL. And I'm just changing over to form view. We can see a couple of different areas of this form. First, we're relating a company account and sub-account to a bank account. We also have the company information. That's your company, how you want it to print on the check. The bank information that needs to show up, including the ABA and routing numbers. We also providing the micro fonts and showing the codes as they will print on your checks on this form too. So it's very easy to take an existing check, enter the bank account information the way you would like, and make sure that the ABA and the routing numbers match the symbols that you appear on your check. Now, a couple of other things on here. We can define for this bank account the default printer that the check will print to, as well as the default duplicate check printer that a copy of the check will print. So in a lot of cases, we have customers that are printing the checks on a laser printer that has special microtoner on it that is required by the banks, and also we're printing a copy to a plain paper either drawer or on a totally different printer. Both can be set up using this product. The other thing I want to point out is on the setup, we have a lot of flexibility on how we deal with signatures. So up top here, we're displaying a company logo that can print on the check, and in the manual it defines the sizes and resolutions that we recommend using. But this is the ability to print that particular logo on your check itself. And then we get into the signatures, and you can see here we have two signatures with two different setups. Do I print the line? Do I always print the signature? Do I manually acquire signature line 1 over a certain level? And then we kind of put in English based on those choices to make it easier for you to figure out what's going on. And here we have manual signature is never required. At the same time, I can require, do I actually print a second signature? Maybe I want them over checks over $10,000, and then I can also see the English version of that. Signature is required in all checks over $10,000 and must be manually signed on all checks. In addition to that, we can put a limit, not valid over a certain amount without two signatures, and then a void message. So all these things are very, very easy to set up in Dynamics SL. Now, when we go over to the financial part of the system, we can see that we have basically the only, we have added a couple options to this menu, but the only difference about running a microcheck or a laser check from MaxQ versus the standard SL check system is selecting a different form type. So here I can see I have the standard check window, and on the report version, all I need to do is print one of the many different microcheck options that were added, or formats that were added to the standard check process. There is no difference if I wanted to run just a standard SL laser form with a pre-printed check that's in the printer. I would run this version. To print the SL version, it's just picking the format that matches the check stock, the blank check stock that you have in your printer. Quickly, a couple of other things on the system. We allow you to print blank checks. And here we can see this is the blank check form. I'm just going to load a template just to show you some of the options. In here now I'm saying this is the bank account I want to run and these are the checks I want to generate. So when I hit print on this, this will actually generate a printed check off of the blank stock that I could use to handwrite checks if I needed to. So I don't even have to buy a small checkbook or even any amount of pre-printed. I can also generate them off the system and hand them to someone if they need to hand sign or to hand generate to go pick up supplies or anything else I needed. We also have added the option to reprint copies of checks if needed, and in some cases we have customers for document imaging purposes have added a barcode to the copy of the check that either gets saved in a electronic format and imported into the document management or later scanned into the document management. So to summarize, we've added the ability to enter the bank information, controlling all aspects of what the bank and check look like, including lots of flexibility into the signatures, and the only difference between what you may be using now or standard Dynamics SL is to pick a different laser check form. It works the same way in payroll and is available in AP only or with the ability to print payroll checks also.